It's no secret by looking at some of my past videos that I am not the biggest fan of Overwatch these days, but that wasn't always the case. I used to love this game, whether it was the gameplay, the characters, breaking my keyboard because my Mercy won't heal me. Yes, I loved everything about it. And since Overwatch's downfall, I never thought I would feel this way about a game again. That was, until I played Marvel Rivals. When this was announced, I didn't think much of it. It was yet another hero shooter, a genre that has had a very inconsistent track record in the past few years. So when this was released 2 months ago, I thought it would be fun for a bit, but quickly get boring. I, however, couldn't have been more wrong, because this game not only is doing amazing, but it has practically killed off Overwatch at the same time. Not only do I get a new fun game to play, but Blizzard also suffers at the same time? Now that's what I call a 2-for-1 special! On a surface level, it's very easy to say why this has happened. Combining any game genre with an IP as big as Marvel was always going to be a recipe for huge success. Well, most of the time. Past Marvel games have proven that this isn't always the case, and so begs the question, what does Marvel Rivals do so well? Well, luckily for you, I love charity, so I'll tell you for free what makes Marvel Rivals so genius. So perhaps the least you could do is subscribe for my humble philanthropy. Shilling aside, let's get into it. When we look at the gameplay of Rivals, it's very easy to see why people are so quick to compare this game to Overwatch, because I won't lie, they have taken a lot from it. It's actually a little bit shameless. Matches typically play out the same. 6v6 fights where you're typically fighting over an objective such as a payload, a capture point, you get the idea. The core gameplay itself is very comparable and doesn't differ too hugely besides some minor differences when it comes to how securing objectives typically play out. But undoubtedly what shakes things up completely are the characters themselves. And there are a lot of them. 35 to be exact. Meanwhile, Overwatch 1 only launched with a measly 21 and are now only reaching 42 heroes. And with Rivals already adding 2 brand new characters in this season with many unreleased and unannounced ones to come, I don't doubt they will soon dwarf Overwatch's roster completely. With the sheer amount of characters being added, you would expect a drop off in quality in return. But this is far from the case, because the characters without a doubt are the highlight of this game. And this isn't just because these are some of the most recognizable characters in the world, but each one is very satisfying and enjoyable to play. Characters like Spider-Man offer, as you'd expect, a high range of mobility, making it very hard for you to die in fights. But to compensate for this, you have a very specific way of dealing damage and pulling off combos that makes him the hardest character in the game without a doubt. Or you could just press Q and easily kill the entire enemy team.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
But in turn, once you do learn his movement, his combos, and get to the point where you can one-shot most characters, it is so satisfying and rewards you for putting in the work with the character. On the other side of the spectrum, we have a character like the Punisher, who is so easy even a chimpanzee could play him. This is your typical shooter character, much like Soldier 76. You put down a turret, spray your enemies without remorse, and you can pick up a lot of kills by the end of the game. It's not that he's broken, but he's very simple, giving new players an easy way to learn the core game mechanics while also not ruining their team's chance at victory because they chose a harder character. Every level of skill has characters made for them, while even simpler ones have tech you can learn, making it so you're rewarded no matter what character you choose to main and put the time into learning. On top of this, the proficiency system also encourages players to put time into these characters for different rewards, and is a nice little mastery system for the game. Winter Soldier, Iron Fist, Thor, Groot, Rocket, even Jeff. Every single character in this game is so fun to play. Nothing quite beats wiping out an entire team with your ultimate. And another big reason for this is because of the balance in philosophy. Marvel Rivals doesn't want any character to be particularly bad, and so every character as a result is pretty much OP. But once everyone is OP...
no one will be.
This doesn't ruin the balance of the game, but instead puts everyone on a similar playing field. It doesn't matter what character may be stronger in the meta, because while Storm is currently a top tier, I can still hop on Iron Fist and wipe out an entire team with no issues. So no matter your main, you'll never have to be a slave to the meta because every single character is just so good. Except for Black Widow. Black Widow kinda sucks right now. But easily, the one thing that sets the game apart from almost every other hero shooter is without a doubt the team-up system. It's always been a hidden thing where certain characters go incredibly well together, but Rivals says screw it and makes this a whole system entirely. There are so many team-ups that it actually gets a little daunting, but each one varies, offering a more simple buff while others add entirely new features to the game. One of the most infamous at this point is the Hulk and Iron Man team-up, letting Iron Man infuse his weapons with gamma radiation, increasing his damage tenfold. This is scary, and it's the entire reason Hulk gets banned in ranked play. Not because of the Hulk himself, but specifically because of this team-up. Meanwhile, if Hulk and Wolverine team up, the Hulk gets an entire new ability that lets him just literally pick up Wolverine and punt him straight into the enemy. And while this may not be an amazing team-up, it's just so fun and can make way for some crazy plays when used in the right scenarios. Or you can just completely troll with it, which is always fun as well. This system is so good because it's not all about just picking characters you enjoy or are even top tier in the current meta, but picking characters based on potential team-ups is always going to be huge for your games. It makes things a little deeper as you have to account for team composition, what's good in the meta, and also the most valuable team-ups. I know it sounds like a lot, but once you get your head around a lot of these factors, it becomes pretty simple and very easy to learn, in turn becoming super gratifying. All of this just adds up to make this game one of the best multiplayer experiences we've had in recent years. It feels a while since a game came out and was this fun and clean, so it's no wonder the player base is continually growing. I can't tell you the last game of this nature I've played where I've hit that quick play button and it was actually quick play. Didn't even get the 1 second. I also can't believe how well this game works as a third-person hero shooter, something that isn't entirely common. I had reservations of how this would play out, but it is so clean and allows for so many creative things, like purely based melee characters, that actually feel like a threat without being a tank like, say, Reinhardt. In short, the gameplay is clean as fuck, but I don't think this is the only reason Marvel Rivals is succeeding, as an equally contributing factor is simply the style of the game. Of course, gameplay triumphs all in importance, but when it comes to visual style, it's like that nice little cherry on top of everything. In my eyes, a game like Overwatch was always missing this. Not to say the art style was inherently bad, but rather it was a bit bland. Just a tiny bit bland. Never pushing the limits of how cool things could look. You simply saw a PNG of the map before going into the selection screen. Games themselves never had any sort of flair outside of some cool skins, and even sometimes those were lacking. Okay, way more than sometimes. The only flair the game ever had was with the play of the game animations, and while these used to be cool, over the years they just had less and less effort put into them. So seeing all of this, the madmen over at NetEase Games figured, oh yeah, we could definitely do better than that. From the moment you launch Marvel Rivals, everything just oozes with style. Even before you enter a game, taking a look at the hero selection has every single portrait play a small animation as you hover above them, and gives each hero a unique animation when you click them. Entering games has the map art play these animations that not only give a clue to what the player's objectives will be relating to, but giving us the lore behind these events. And to top it all off, the MVP animations, the replacement for what would be the play of the game, has so much more effort put into them. Every default MVP animation looks amazing, and in comparison to Overwatch, completely mogs them. And these are just the default ones. Some of the MVP animations you can buy go on to recreate entire movie scenes that are actually just jaw-dropping to watch. It's a very simple thing that completely elevates how this game feels to play, proving that NetEase cares when it comes to basically every facet of the game, which is only exemplified when it comes to the character designs themselves. There is obviously a lot of free reign when it comes to Marvel designs, considering the absolute scope of various takes on the characters we've had over the years. And while a lot of them obviously draw key inspiration from many different comic books, they've gone the route of making these mostly wholly original designs, which I feel was a great decision. It gives them the freedom of crafting their own little universe with the characters. A design like Star-Lord's, for example, just oozes coolness when compared to the MCU-ification of his design that we've seen in recent years. It takes us back to what made his original comic book design so awesome, while adding in some new elements to make this a fresh take. Thor is another example that brings us back to that Norse god feeling. He is built like a brick shithouse, and just from one look at the character, does look like an ultra powerful god. But a design like Venom's, on the other hand, doesn't add anything that new, just honing in more on the classic design that makes this an amazing character design with an equally amazing ass. Yes, Venom is thick. No, I don't apologize for putting this information into your head. I don't think there are many, if any, misses when it comes to these character designs. They're all visually appealing, tell you what you need to know about the character, and make you want to play every single one of them. Spider-Man arguably might be one of the worst ones, but that's due to how sick people are of the more techy looking spider suit. I think it's fine, but some people disagree. Overall, there's something for everybody, and you'll be hard pressed to not find a main or two. Or three. Or shit, just main everyone at this point. Even if you aren't a fan of some of the designs in the game, every character has an increasing roster of skins for you to purchase if you want. So at the least, you'll be able to tailor every character to the design that you want if you're willing to fork out some money. Which brings me on to what else the game does somewhat right: monetization. When it comes to microtransactions, this is a bit of a mixed bag. On one hand, Marvel Rivals does some absolutely amazing things to make it fair to the player, like how gamer subs makes it fair to the customer by letting you use code Kazoo for 10% off any order. Yeah, okay, I know I said no more shilling, but I'm also a well-known liar. At the same time though, the monetization isn't perfect. Let's start with what is probably one of the best things in this game compared to basically every other live service game you can think of: the Battle Pass system. Battle Passes have always been a very controversial thing, and I'm sure this will never change. Yet it doesn't stop me from buying one in any game my ADHD-riddled brain gets a hold of. Yes, I have grinded Fortnite Battle Passes just for the Peter Griffin skin, and no, I am not sorry. But Battle Passes have always had one defining problem that makes them very anti-user friendly. If you've purchased a Battle Pass, don't quite reach the levels for the rewards you want, and the season happens to end, then that's it. You can no longer get those items ever again, even though you purchased the pass. It forces players to be constantly playing the game, even if they're feeling burnt out or don't feel like playing much. Because if they don't, they'll never get a chance to reach these rewards again. It's a bit unfair, and honestly, in some ways it's a scam. Marvel Rivals, on the other hand, fixes this problem perfectly. As you can see here, we're on the first season's Battle Pass, while I never did quite unlock everything Season 0's Battle Pass had to offer. But with the simple click of a button, I'm able to rewind time, and I am free to spend my Battle Pass related tokens on the previous season's rewards. This is just so good, and I am actually confused how this has never been added to a live service game before. Well, okay, obviously I know why, but this seems like such an obvious thing to do, and in hindsight, makes me realize how much of a scam every other Battle Pass has been. It makes me less anxious in purchasing these Battle Passes, because if I get bored of the game and want to take a break for a while, I don't have to worry about ever losing these rewards. I will always have access to them. The price of the pass itself is pretty standard, being around $10, but compared to similar passes like Fortnite's, the evergreen nature of Rivals Battle Passes makes this better value for your money. The rewards are well fitted with some amazing skins and MVP intros, overall making this, in my opinion, the best Battle Pass money can buy. Skins, on the other hand, are where things get a little bit dicey, because these aren't exactly... well, they ain't that cheap. For example, most of the MCU skins, based on the movies, that the general player base will probably lean towards buying the most, cost around 2,600 credits, which, given the Latisse prices, would have you paying upwards of $20 or perhaps more. Some skins are a little cheaper, but these are the average prices. This is definitely not what I would define as cheap, but it is still a vast improvement from Overwatch 2's skin prices. For example, the Cowboy Bebop collab skins were about $25 per one for the bundle, about the same as these MCU ones. However, what justifies Rivals skin prices is the massive increase in quality. This is the play of the game animation for one of the Cowboy Bebop skins. Meanwhile, this is the MVP animation for one of the MCU skins. don't know about you guys, but I'm noticing a slight increase in quality. This isn't even related to just the movie skins. Almost every skin Marvel Rivals has to offer raises the bar for what can be done with these types of microtransactions. And so while I won't die on the hill that these prices are exactly fair, I will easily say the production on them definitely helps in justifying their prices when it comes to comparing it with Overflop 2. So while the skin prices could be a bit fairer, the Battle Pass absolutely makes up for this, and I hope every other live service game takes notes. As a whole, it's so easy to see why this game killed off Overwatch, because it really does seem like it does pretty much everything better. This could be the case of the hype blinding my eyes, but we are 2 months into this game now, and I see no signs of this feeling wearing off. It's either a testament to how much Overwatch has fallen off, or purely just how good Rivals is. Either way, NetEase have crafted an amazing game that has recaptured the feeling I had playing with friends when Overwatch first launched. It's been so long since a multiplayer game came out that was fun, competitive, and unintentionally hilarious. I am really enjoying playing the game solo and with friends, so much in fact that I want to make more videos about this game, which is why I plan to bring back an older series I used to have on my channel called Why People Main. So hopefully you guys will look forward to the first episode of that'll center around Spider-Man in the hopeful near future. So don't forget to subscribe or you just might miss it. Will Rivals fall off? There's a chance, but with NetEase listening to the community, showing no signs of slowing down on content, and with competitive to keep me engaged, I am sure I will be enjoying this game for years to come.